Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Demise and Ruin King and Queen of Armageddon deck profile. So I'm really excited for this one because this is a deck that I really love, that was one of the first ritual monsters with Demise King of Armageddon that was ever put on the ban list at all, because it was just so good back in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX era. So they actually made an entire archetype around this deck, which a lot of you might not even know that they made this archetype, but it's a really awesome archetype that makes a really big ritual monster that can just blow board all at once. So anyways guys, let's get straight on this. Before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that button so you can become part of the notification squad, and I really quickly will mention you guys, we do have a Ko-Fi and a Patreon down in the description, so if you guys would like to donate to the channel, all donations are very much so appreciated for cards and playmats and all sorts of stuff for the channel. So let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Demise King of Armageddon. So this card is a really good card. It has the ability that you can ritual summon this card with Cycle of the World, and this card's name becomes Demise King of Armageddon while in the hand or on the field. Now you can also use End of the World in order to summon this card as well, because it does count as a Demise King of Armageddon while in your hand or on your field. So you can use that as well. So you have essentially 6 ritual spells to summon this card in the deck. It also has the ability that when this card is ritual summoned on the field, your ritual monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. And if all monsters used to ritual summon this card were ritual monsters, you do not have to pay life points in order to activate this effect. Once per turn, you can pay 2,000 life points to destroy as many cards on the field as possible, and if you do, inflict 2,000 points of damage to your opponent for each card they controlled that was destroyed by this effect. This card is really good. Then we play 3 copies of Ruin, Queen of Oblivion, as well. So this is Ruin, Supreme Queen of Oblivion. You can ritual summon her with Cycle of the World or Into the World, and then when she's on the field, she counts as Ruin, Queen of Oblivion. And then she also has the ability that if all monsters used to ritual summon her were ritual monsters, she can make up to 2 attacks during each battle phase. And if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's original attack, which is really good as well because she's just going to kind of like flame wingman your opponent's monsters. Then we play 3 copies of Demise King of Armageddon, which is the regular Demise King of Armageddon, which has the ability that you can pay 2,000 life points to destroy all cards in the field except himself, which is really cool and really amazing. And then for the last ritual monsters, we play 3 copies of Incantation Chalice Slime. This is basically here for the incantation monsters to be able to put them on the field and help with the, getting all the searching pieces that we need. For the other monsters we play in the deck, we play our only normal summon, which is going to be 3 copies of Manju of the 10,000 Hands. You normal summon this and then add the particular piece you need for the incantations that are in your hand to be able to summon Ruin or Demise, depending on which one you want to go for, which one you feel like is more beneficial. Usually it's going to be Demise that you're going to summon, unless your opponent has something that can't be destroyed by card effects and has to be destroyed by battle, which then you're going to summon Ruin and OTK them by beating over it and then swinging at them twice. Then we play 3 copies of Incantation Talismandra. This card is so good in this deck. You need 3 Incantation Talismandras in here because you just want to be able to get into it as quickly as possible to search your particular card that you might need. Because if it's special summoned from the deck, you get to add a ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Then we play 3 copies of Kandal as well. Kandal lets us add a ritual spell from our deck to our hand if it's special summon, 2 copies of Pencil Plume to add them back from graveyard, and 2 copies of Bookstone to add them back from our graveyard as well, to add our ritual spells from the graveyard to our hand. So basically these are here to add back from graveyard to hand, and all of these are here to add from deck to hand, which is really important for this deck because you really want to get all of your pieces in your hand as quickly as possible, so your incantations really help out with that. This deck does one simple thing, and that's summon Ruin and Demise onto your side of the field and OTK them as quickly as possible. Then we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom as our last 3 monsters in this main deck, because you really don't want your opponent to get something out on the field or search from their deck or something like that while you're trying to get your Ruin or Demise, because you always want to go second in this deck to be able to put Ruin or Demise on the field after the fact your opponent does whatever they're going to do to end the entire world that your opponent has put on the field and OTK them. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Call by the Grave because you don't want to get hand trapped in this deck. You really don't want to get hand trapped in this deck. Because if you do get hand trapped in this deck, you're probably going to lose the searching ability that you're going to have in this deck, which you're going to have to then go for like a Talismandra. Like you're always going for Talismandra or Chalice Slime, and you're always going to want to special summon one of them from the deck with like Candle or something like that. So with this, it just stops your opponent from Ash Blossoming you and stuff like that. 1 copy of Incantation Inception. This card's really good because it can ritual summon any ritual monster, and then it also helps with your Incantation Chalice line, putting it on the field as well, which this card really comes in clutch. 3 copies of Cycle of the World. Cycle of the World is really good because it lets you ritual summon a Ruin or a Demise, but you have to tribute monsters from your field whose total level equal or exceed the ritual monster's level. And then you can shuffle this card, except for the turn it was sent to the graveyard. You can shuffle it from your graveyard into your deck, and then add an End of the World from your deck to your hand, and then add a Ruin or Demise from your graveyard to your hand, which is also really good because usually you're going to want to use either or to ritual summon the other one because you're going to want to have the material to activate their particular effect. Then we play 3 copies of End of the World, which can ritual summon Ruin or Demise, which is really cool, but it has to equal the level of the ritual monster you're attempting to ritual summon. It can't exceed it, which kind of sucks as well, but that's why Cycle is really good. And you're always going to have the monsters on the field with Cycle anyways because you have the incantations, which comes in really handy. Then we play 3 copies of Pre-Preparation of Rites, which something that's really great about this card and really is not good about this card is you have to search End of the World and the normal Demise. You can't summon Supreme Ruin or Supreme Demise with this because they don't count as Demise King of Armageddon while in the deck. And this card specifically lists End of the World, and this specifically lists Demise King of Armageddon. It's a downside to this deck, but that's something that you just kind of have to play around. But sometimes all you need is the Demise King of Armageddon to go after your opponent with anyways, and then follow it up with something like an incantation play to go into the Supreme Demise if they negate the additional Demise King of Armageddon. And something to keep in mind, if they do stop the first Demise, you can always activate its effect again if they don't negate its effect. They just stop its effect. You can activate his effect multiple times per turn because it doesn't say once per turn. He was made before once per turns were a thing. So that's kind of interesting as well. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, I will really quickly mention I really wanted to make this deck a budget variant. So if you want to go from less of a budget variant and want to go for more of a expensive variant, you can drop one of each of these and maybe drop a single copy of your Demise as well. And go for 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance if you want to play Pot of Extravagance in here to dig deeper into the deck. Basically, this is here to search off of pre-prep, but you're always going to have the copy of End of the World, and you're always going to have those other cards in the deck as well. So that's just another option if you want to play Pot of Extravagance in here to dig deeper into the deck. That is an option, but I feel like I dig deep enough into the deck anyways with all the incantations and stuff like that. So then we play 1 copy of Boral Sword, 1 copy of Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax as our 2 big rank or link 4s to OTK our opponent. They're really pivotal in this deck to be able to OTK our opponent. 1 copy of Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. You can make this, I know I said it's a budget variant, but you can drop this if you don't want to play that. And you want to play something else, like a copy of Deco Talker or something like that. That's another link 3. 1 copy of Unicorn, because Unicorn's really good in here to be able to bounce stuff. Cerberus to pop monsters, and Phoenix to pop spells and traps. 1 copy, and then that's it for our links. For our XYZs, we're going to be playing a Super Dreadnought Cannon Juggernaut Libby, which you make on top of a Super Dreadnought Cannon Super Dora, or a Gustav Max, which does come in handy because you can use a Supreme, either one of the Supreme Ritual monsters, which is your Ruin or Demise, to make either one of these and then rank up into this after you've blown board. You can go into that and go at him for with 6,000, which is really good. Because you can detach a material from this card and gains 2,000 attack, and also for the rest of the turn, you can only declare attacks with this card, and then during the battle phase, you can make attack up to the number of XYZ materials. So you blow board with Demise, make this, and then OTK your opponent. 1 copy of number 97. You can make this with 2 copies of the regular Demise, and then detach a material from this, and then go for Galaxy Eyes Tachyon, and then go for C107, which is another option. And since Master Rule 5 is right around the corner, you can just make this really easily. 1 copy of number 38, because you can also make that to negate spells if you want to go for a little bit more of a control variant with this. Baguska for the 2 copies. You're going to sometimes have moments that you're going to have 2 Manjus on the field, so you have Baguska and the Daigusto Emerald to kind of shuffle stuff back into the deck with Daigusto Emerald and be defensive with the Baguska. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. This deck does one really simple thing, and that's blow board and attack. It's a very glass cannon-ish deck, which is really fun for me because I really like that aspect about the deck. Being able to make Demise Supreme King of Armageddon is amazing. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.